On Mother's Day, my mom gushed on Facebook, blessed with the most beautiful grandchild about my sister's son. I was 7 months pregnant. No mention, no call. I stayed quiet. In 24 hours, my delivery room photo hit 20,000 likes. Not because of her face, but because of who was holding her. My name is Ellen Robbins. I'm 31 years old. On Mother's Day 2025, I was 7 weeks pregnant with my first child. After 2 devastating miscarriages that almost broke me, that Sunday morning, I sat alone in my kitchen in Columbus, Ohio, hands trembling as I opened Facebook. There it was, my mother's post, a smiling photo of my sister's 2-year-old son, Tyler, with the caption, "Blessed with the most beautiful grandchild, my heart." My heart is so full. No mention of me, no mention that I was carrying her second grandchild. No call, no text, nothing. I had driven my mother to chemotherapy 52 times. I had paid $18,000 out of pocket when her insurance refused to cover it. I had held her hand through every single scan and every midnight fever. Yet on Mother's Day, while I was terrified of losing another baby, I simply didn't exist to her. They had no idea that 7 months later, when I went into early labor, the person holding my newborn daughter in that delivery room wouldn't be them. And they definitely didn't know that the photo of my baby would explode to 20,000 likes in just 24 hours. Not because of me, but because of who was holding her. Before I tell you who was standing there and what happened next, if you're already feeling the weight of this story, please hit like and subscribe, but only if it truly resonates with you. Drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from and what time it is right now. I read every single one. Now let me take you back to where it all really began. January 2020, my mother Carol was diagnosed with stage 2 billions breast cancer at Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center in Columbus. I was 24 years old, 2 years into teaching 3rd grade. My sister Allison was 29, living in Austin, Texas, 1,200 miles away. The phone call came on a Friday afternoon. Mom's voice was shaking. "Ellen, they found something. Stage 2 billions. I need you." I was at school. I told my principal I'd need to leave early for a family emergency. I drove straight to her house. Allison texted me that night. "I can't fly in right now. Work is crazy. You're closer anyway." That became the pattern. I was closer. I was available. I was the one who could rearrange my life. But I didn't know yet that those drives to Wexner Medical Center would change forever how I understood the word family. The first appointment with Dr. Rachel Brennan, Mom's oncologist, happened 3 days later. I drove Mom to Wexner Medical Center. Dr. Brennan was 48 then, a breast cancer survivor herself. She had this calm, steady presence that made you feel like everything had a plan. I brought a blue notebook. I asked questions, a lot of questions. What stage exactly? What's the treatment protocol? What are the side effects we need to watch for? What medications will she need? What's the timeline? Dr. Brennan looked at me carefully. "You're asking all the right questions. Are you in healthcare?" "No," I said, "I'm a teacher. I just need to understand everything." Mom sat there quietly. She didn't ask much. She just looked scared. Dr. Brennan nodded. "Your mother is lucky to have you." Mom didn't say anything. I filled that blue notebook with over 200 pages of notes over the next 2 years. Treatment plans, side effects, medication schedules, everything. The chemotherapy started in February 2020, every 2 weeks for the first year, then monthly. I drove her to 52 appointments, not 50, not 55, 52. I counted because I saved the parking receipts. Each appointment took between 4 and 6 hours. Sit in the infusion room. Watch the IV drip. Hold her hand when the nausea hit. Drive her home. Make sure she got inside safely. Let me tell you what one of those appointments was really like. The infusion room at Wexner smelled like chemical disinfectant, mixed with something sweet and metallic. The fluorescent lights hummed. Mom sat in a blue recliner with an IV line in her left arm. I sat next to her with my blue notebook. Around us, other patients slept or stared at their phones. The chemo dripped slowly. Drip, drip, drip. Each drop supposed to save her life, but making her feel like she was dying. After the first hour, she'd start feeling nauseous. I'd hold a basin, Sometimes she threw up. Sometimes she just dry heaved. I'd rub her back and whisper, "You're doing great, Mom. Almost done." I was a third-grade teacher, but in those moments, I was learning to be a nurse, a mother, and a daughter all at once. I met Nathan Robbins during this time. He's a firefighter and EMT. We met at a coffee shop near the hospital. He saw me studying my notebook, asked what I was working on. I told him I was taking care of my mom through cancer. He didn't run. Most guys would have. He stayed. In 2021, Mom needed surgery. Allison flew in for that. She stayed 48 hours. She posted 15 Instagram stories, praying for Mom with photos of flowers, the hospital waiting room, her coffee cup. Not a single photo of me, even though I'd been there every day for a week, leading up to the surgery and stayed every night after. When Allison left, Mom said, "It was so good to see her. I'd been there the whole time." The bill started coming in late 2021. Mom's insurance covered about 70% of the costs. The remaining 30% came to $18,000. That was the out-of-pocket portion under her Obamacare Affordable Care Act plan, with a high deductible. I filed it as a medical expense deduction on my IRS Form 140, but I still had to pay the full amount up front. Allison said she'd split it with me. I waited 3 months. She didn't send anything. I texted her in December 2021. "The bill is due. Can you send your half?" "Things are tight right now," she replied. "Can you cover it first?" "I'll pay you back." I paid the full $18,000 on my credit card on December 12, 2022. Chase Sapphire, 18 months at 0% APR. I still have the receipt. I saved it to my Google Drive in a folder called Mom Cancer. Allison never paid me back. December 20th, 2022. Mom's oncologist declared her cancer-free remission. I drove her home from that appointment. She was crying happy tears. I was exhausted, relieved, but exhausted. That afternoon, she posted on Facebook, "Cancer-free, so grateful for my family and Dr. Brennan." She tagged Allison. She tagged my dad, Douglas. She didn't tag me. I read it in the car before I drove away from her house. My hands were shaking. I didn't comment. I didn't say anything. Mom asked if I was okay. I said I was just tired. Dr. Brennan sent me a private message that night. "I saw the post. I know what you did. Thank you." I cried in my car after I read that. 3 months later, in March 2023, 2 things happened. Allison had a baby, a boy she named Tyler, and Nathan asked me to marry him. I said yes. Mom flew to Austin to help Allison with the baby. She stayed for 3 weeks. When she came back, it was the weekend of my wedding. She stayed for 2 days. She didn't post a single photo from my wedding on Facebook. "I can't stay long," she said at the reception. "Allison needs me with the baby." "You were just there for 3 weeks," I said. "Well, she just had a baby, Ellen." Nathan looked at me across the room. I could see it in his face. He was angry, but I just smiled and nodded. From March to December 2023, Mom posted 50 times about Tyler. First smile, first laugh, first steps. I followed along silently. Every post was like a small cut, not deep enough to bleed out, but enough to sting. Nathan started getting frustrated. "She didn't even thank you, not once, not publicly." "She said thank you in person," I told him. "That's not enough," he said. In October 2023, I got pregnant for the first time. I didn't tell anyone except Nathan. I wanted to wait until 12 weeks until it felt safe. I didn't make it to 12 weeks. I didn't know then that this pain was just the beginning of greater shocks ahead. November 18th, 2023. I miscarried at 9 weeks. It was a Saturday. Nathan held me on the bathroom floor. There was blood. So much blood. I knelt down to clean the floor while Nathan hadn't made it home yet from his shift at the fire station. Blood mixed with tears on the white tile. I whispered, "I'm sorry, baby. Mommy's so sorry." When it was over, I called my mother. "Mom," I said, "I lost the baby." There was a pause. Tyler was crying in the background. She was visiting Allison again. "Oh, honey, I'm sorry," she said. Her voice sounded distracted. "But you're young. You can try again." "I have to go. Tyler's crying." The call lasted 3 minutes and 12 seconds. She never called back to check on me. Allison didn't even know I'd been pregnant. Mom never told her. I started paying attention to our family group chat after that. It was called Robin's Family. From March 2023 to November 2024, there were 203 messages about Tyler. 12 messages about me. 11 of those 12 were me asking how everyone was doing. The one message about me that I didn't write myself was Dad saying congrats when Nathan and I got married. In May 2024, I was named Teacher of the Year for my district by the Ohio Department of Education. There was a ceremony. Nathan came. My parents didn't. I called Mom to invite her. I won Teacher of the Year. The ceremony is Friday at 4. "Oh, that's wonderful," she said. "But Allison is in town with Tyler this week. We're taking him to the zoo on Friday." "Okay," I said. "Never mind." Nathan took a photo of me holding my certificate. He posted it on Facebook. 47 people commented, "Congratulations." My mother liked the post. She didn't comment. I got pregnant again in June 2024. This time, I didn't tell my mother. I only told Nathan and Dr. Brennan. Yes, Dr. Brennan. Over the 2 years of Mom's treatment, Dr. Brennan and I had stayed in touch. She checked in on me. She knew I'd miscarried. When I told her I was pregnant again, she said, "I'm here if you need anything." August 2003, 2024. I miscarried again at 11 weeks. I was in my kitchen making breakfast. The bleeding started. Blood on the kitchen floor. I was on my knees trying to clean it up. Tears streaming down my face while Nathan was at the fire station. I called him. He was there in 12 minutes, still in his uniform. I didn't call my mother this time. I didn't see the point. Dr. Brennan came to the hospital. She sat with me for an hour. She didn't say much. She just sat there. That meant more than any words. I'm not telling them anymore. I told Nathan that night. They don't get to know. In October 2024, I got pregnant for the 3rd time. I didn't tell my family until April 2025, when I was 6 months along, and couldn't hide it anymore. I posted in the family group chat, "Nathan and I are expecting in December." Mom replied 4 hours later, "Congrats, honey." Allison replied 6 hours later, "That's great." Dad replied 10 hours later, "Good news." That was it. No one asked if it was a boy or girl. No one asked when the due date was. No one asked how I was feeling. Nathan read the messages over my shoulder. He picked up my phone and threw it across the room. "Are you kidding me? This is how they react?" I picked up the phone. The screen was cracked. "I told you," I said. "They don't care." In early May, my friends threw me a baby shower. I invited Mom and Allison. Mom said she couldn't come. "I'm already flying to Austin that weekend," she said. "Tyler has his 2nd birthday party on the 5th. My baby shower was May 3rd. Tyler's birthday was May 5th. She chose Tyler. 23 people came to my baby shower. There were 2 empty chairs at the family table, one for Mom, one for Allison. My friend Sarah asked, "Where's your family?" "They had other plans," I said. And then came Mother's Day, May 11th, 2025. I was 7 weeks pregnant, still in that terrifying first trimester where anything could go wrong. I'd told my mother about the pregnancy 3 weeks earlier. She knew. That Sunday morning, I woke up and checked my phone, 8:02 a.m. My mother had posted a photo of Tyler hugging her. The caption said, I sat in my kitchen and read it 3 times. Nathan was making breakfast. I didn't say anything. I placed my hand on my stomach, trying to feel for a heartbeat, even though the doctor said it was still too early. Tears fell without sound, because I was afraid to disturb Nathan frying eggs. No call from my mother that day. No text. Nothing. By noon, the post had 147 likes and 38 comments. People saying, "You're so blessed and what a beautiful grandson." One comment stood out. Someone asked, "Is this your only grandchild?" Mom replied, "Yes, my first." I took a screenshot at 8:06 a.m. I saved it to a folder I'd created called Evidence. Nathan saw me looking at my phone. "Ellen, I'm fine." I said, "Do you want me to call them?" "No." I said, "Let them enjoy their day." 3 of my friends messaged me privately. "Did you see your mom's post?" "Yeah," I replied to each one. I didn't explain. If you've ever felt invisible in your own family, comment, "I see you right now." I'm reading every single comment. That night, I lay in bed and thought about calling her. I even typed out a text. "Thanks for remembering me today, Mom." I deleted it. The next week, I did something I'd been avoiding. I organized every piece of evidence I had. Every screenshot, every receipt, every email. I had a folder for this cancer treatment. 52 documents showing every appointment, bank statements showing the $18,000 payment, gas receipts totaling over $3,000, time off requests from work showing I'd taken 8 unpaid days to care for her after surgery. That cost me $2,200 in lost wages. I had a folder for family posts, 30 screenshots of Mom's Facebook posts about Tyler, 0 posts mentioning my pregnancy, the Mother's Day post, the only grandchild comment from November 2024 when I was already 8 months pregnant. I had a folder for text messages, 15 conversations where I reached out and got one-word replies, or nothing at all. Nathan found me at my laptop at midnight. "What are you doing?" "I'm not doing this to hurt them," I said. "I'm doing this so I never forget my worth." "What are you going to do with all this?" "I don't know yet," I said. "But when the time comes, I'll be ready." In late May, I met Dr. Brennan for coffee, not a medical appointment, just coffee. I told her about Mother's Day. I told her about the post. I told her about feeling invisible. Dr. Brennan listened. Then she told me something I didn't know. When she was going through her own cancer treatment 15 years ago, her family abandoned her. Her mother stopped calling. Her sister said she was too busy to help. "Ellen," she said, "you gave your mother life twice, once when you were born, and once when you saved her from cancer. She owes you truth." "I don't want her to owe me," I said. "I just want her to see me." Dr. Brennan looked at me across the table. "When your baby comes, who do you want in that room?" I didn't hesitate. "You, Nathan. That's it." "Then I'll be there," she said. Nathan had a conversation with Dr. Brennan that I didn't know about until later. He sent her an email on May 2005. The subject line was, "Emergency contact, the only person I trust when blood family can't be trusted." He wrote, "Ellen trusts you more than her own family. If something happens during delivery, you're my first call." Dr. Brennan replied, "I'm honored, and I'll be there." Between June and November, Mom posted 12 more times about Tyler, his birthday party, his first day of preschool, his Halloween costume as a little superhero, 0 posts about my pregnancy, 0 questions about how I was feeling. She asked one time, when my due date was. I said December. She said, "Oh, nice." That was the entire conversation. On Thanksgiving 2025, my family gathered at my parents' house in Columbus. I lived 20 minutes away. I didn't go. I told them I wasn't feeling well. That was partly true. I was 9 months pregnant. I was exhausted. But mostly, I just didn't want to be there. "You're not coming to Thanksgiving?" Mom asked on the phone. "I'm 9 months pregnant, Mom. I'm exhausted." "Well, Allison is flying in with Tyler. Have a good time," I said. They posted a family photo. So grateful for family. The photo showed Mom, Dad, Allison, and Tyler. One of my old friends commented, "Where's Ellen?" Mom replied, "She wasn't feeling well." She didn't mention I lived 20 minutes away. She made it sound like I was far away or too sick to come. Neither was true. In early December, Nathan packed my hospital bag. He put in clothes, toiletries, a phone charger, and at the bottom, a small card with Dr. Brennan's personal cell number written by hand. I saw it. "Why is Dr. Brennan on the emergency contact list?" "Because," Nathan said, "she cares about you more than people who should." I didn't argue. On December 14th, just after 11 p.m., I started feeling contractions. They were light. I told Nathan. We timed them for a couple of hours. I took a deep breath. The hospital air was cold, carrying the smell of disinfectant. By 2 a.m. on December 15th, they were 5 minutes apart. "We need to go," Nathan said. Now, he drove me to Wexner Medical Center. It took 12 minutes. I was in pain, gripping the door handle. When we got to the ER, the nurse asked, "Who should we call?" "Just my husband," I said. "No one else." By 6:15 a.m., I was in the labor and delivery room. The contractions were getting stronger. I made a decision. I was going to give my mother one last chance. I called her on FaceTime. She declined the call after 3 rings. A text came through a minute later. Busy with Tyler right now. Call you later. I read it. My hands were shaking. Nathan saw the message. Are you fucking serious? It's okay, I said. I already knew. I handed him my phone. Don't let me see it again until after she's born. At 7:30 a.m., Dr. Brennan walked through the door. She was in casual clothes, a blue cardigan and jeans. She was holding a bouquet of yellow tulips. I heard someone's having a baby today, she said. I started crying. You came. Of course I did, she said. I wouldn't miss this. The nurse asked, Are you the grandmother? Dr. Brennan looked at me. I nodded. She's family, I said. The next 2 hours were a blur. Contractions, pain, breathing. Nathan holding one hand, Dr. Brennan holding the other. At one point I said, I can't do this. Dr. Brennan squeezed my hand. You drove me to chemo 52 times when your mother thought she was dying. You can do anything. At 9:14 a.m., my daughter was born. 6 pounds, 3 ounces, 19 inches, healthy cry. Perfect. They placed her on my chest. I looked down at her tiny face. Hi, baby, I whispered. I'm your mom. Nathan cut the umbilical cord. He was crying. I was crying. Dr. Brennan was crying. After they cleaned us both up, after I'd rested for a bit, Dr. Brennan asked, Can I hold her? Of course, I said. Nathan handed her the baby. Dr. Brennan sat in the blue rocking chair by the window. Natural light came through. She looked down at my daughter and smiled. Nathan took out his phone. Can I take a picture? Yes, I said. He had a tiny baby. The morning light, the smile on her face. Pure love. Dr. Brennan looked at me. She's perfect. Just like her mother. Thank you for being here, I said. You didn't have to. Yes, I did, she said. Then she pulled out her phone. Ellen, can I share this photo? I'd like to tell people what real love looks like. I thought about it for maybe 3 seconds. Then I said, Yes, please do. But before she posted it, she did something I wasn't expecting. She opened Facebook on her phone and pulled up my mother's page. She found the Mother's Day post. Ellen, Dr. Brennan said, I want you to hear this before I post. She paused for a second, then said quietly, Ellen, I was abandoned by my own blood family when I had cancer 15 years ago. Today, I won't let history repeat itself with you. She read the caption out loud. Blessed with the most beautiful grandchild. My heart is so full. She looked at me. This was on Mother's Day. You were 7 weeks pregnant. You'd told her 3 weeks before. 2 weeks ago, she told someone on Facebook that Tyler was her only grandchild. And this morning, when you went into labor, she declined your call because she was busy with Tyler. Is that right? I nodded. Then the world needs to know what real maternal love looks like, she said. She typed out a caption, then showed it to me before posting. It said, 2 years ago, Ellen Robbins sat in my office and asked every right question to save her mother's life. She drove her mother to chemotherapy 52 times. She paid $18,000 out of pocket, when insurance wouldn't cover it. She never missed an appointment. She held her mother's hand through every moment of fear. Today, I held her daughter, Natalie. This is what real maternal love looks like. Showing up when it's hard, sacrificing without recognition, and loving without condition. Ellen, you are the mother I hope Natalie becomes. She tagged the Breast Cancer Advocacy Foundation. She tagged Wexner Medical Center. She set the location as Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, labor and delivery. Post it, I said. She posted it at 2:07 p.m. on December 15, 2025. Within 15 minutes, it had 50 likes. Within 30 minutes, 150. Within an hour, 500. Dr. Brennan had 5,000 friends on Facebook, the maximum allowed, plus another 30,200 followers. The 2025 Facebook algorithm prioritized posts from verified medical professionals and posts with high early engagement, pushing her content to the top of news feeds across the medical community and cancer survivor networks. By 3 p.m., the post was being shared in oncology nurse groups. By 6 p.m., it was the first time I was in the hospital. The comments started coming in fast. I've seen this too many times. Caregivers who give everything and get nothing back. Thank you for naming it. This breaks my heart. Where was her mother? Ellen sounds like an extraordinary person. By 6 p.m., the post had 3,000 likes and 400 shares. Then someone tagged my mother. A mutual friend shared Dr. Brennan's post and wrote, "Carol Robbins, this is beautiful. You must be so proud of Ellen." More comments came. Carol Robbins, Ellen sounds like an amazing daughter and mother. You raised her well. I didn't see any of this yet. I was resting, holding Natalie, recovering, but people started noticing something. They clicked on my mother's profile. They saw the Mother's Day post. They saw the 63 posts about Tyler. They saw 0 posts about the pregnancy. The comments on Dr. Brennan's post shifted. Wait, I just looked at Carol Robbins' page. She posts constantly about her grandson Tyler, but I don't see a single post about Ellen's pregnancy. What's going on here? I see the same thing. That's heartbreaking. Someone check if Carol ever thanked Ellen publicly for saving her life during cancer. They went back through 2 years of posts. They found the remission post from December 2022. Cancer-free. So grateful for my family and Dr. Brennan. She tagged Allison and my dad, not me. 20 people commented on Dr. Brennan's post with screenshots. By 9 p.m., cancer survivor communities were rallying. The hashtag #InvisibleCaregivers started trending in those circles. My daughter took care of me for 3 years during my cancer. I make sure to thank her publicly every single day. This mother should be ashamed. Ellen deserves better. By 11 p.m. on December 15th, the post had 15,000 likes, 2,100 shares, and over 800 comments. A local Columbus news blog picked it up. Ohio teacher's viral birth photo sparks conversation about family dynamics. The blog Ohio Mom Life ran the headline, "Ohio teacher's viral birth photo sparks, #InvisibleCaregivers movement." The hashtag was trending in cancer survivor groups and teacher forums nationwide. Before you see what happened at 20,000 likes, hit the like button if you believe in chosen family. And subscribe so you don't miss stories like this. At 11:08 p.m., my phone rang. It was my mother. I looked at the screen. Nathan was sitting next to me. "You going to answer?" "No," I said. She left a voicemail. I listened to it the next morning. "Ellen, people are tagging me in some post about you and the baby. I don't understand what's going on. Call me back. I didn't know that. I just wanted to read a book about it." It says, afternoon, 15 missed calls from Mom, 8 from Allison, 3 from Dad, 28 text messages. I read them all. "Mom, Ellen, why didn't you tell me you were in labor? Why is some doctor posting about our private business? People are saying horrible things about me. Call me now, Allison. Ellen, what is going on? Mom is freaking out. Dad, honey, please call your mother back." Not one of them asked how the baby was. Not one asked how I was feeling. Not one asked Natalie's name or her weight, or if she was healthy. Every single message was about them, their embarrassment, their image. I took screenshots of all 28 messages. I saved them to a folder called Aftermath. On December 17th, my mother deleted the Mother's Day post, but it was too late. People had been screenshotting it and posting it in the comments of Dr. Brennan's photo for 2 days. Someone commented, "Notice Carol deleted her Mother's Day post where she called Tyler her only grandchild while Ellen was 7 weeks pregnant." The internet doesn't forget. They attached the screenshot I'd taken at 8:06 a.m. on May 11th. Other people had saved it too. Another comment, "Deleting it doesn't delete the damage, Carol." On December 18th, Nathan and I came home from the hospital with Natalie. Nathan set a strict rule: no visitors except Dr. Brennan and his fire crew. That afternoon, my father showed up at our door. Nathan answered. "I need to see Ellen," Dad said. "She's not ready," Nathan said. "I'm her father." "Then you should have acted like it," Nathan said. He didn't let him in. Dad left an envelope on the doorstep. Inside was a check for $500 and a note. "For the baby, I'm sorry. Over the next few days, I did something I needed to do. I read all 26 calls and 28 text messages again. I read them slowly. I highlighted certain phrases. Not one person asked about Natalie. Not one asked if she was healthy, how much she weighed, if she was sleeping okay. Every message was about their feelings, their reputation, their embarrassment. Why are people saying I'm a bad mother? This is so embarrassing. People are talking about our family. Nathan read over my shoulder. You know what you have to do. Yeah, I said. I do. What do you think Ellen should do next? Comment boundaries. If you support setting limits with family, I spent 3 days writing an email. 892 words. I edited it 5 times. Nathan read every draft. On January 22, 2026, at 10:14 a.m., I sent it to my mother. I CC'd Allison and my father. The subject line was, "What I need you to understand." I wrote, "From January 2020 to December 2022, I drove you to chemotherapy 52 times. I paid $18,000 when insurance wouldn't cover your bills. I held your hand when you thought you were dying. Allison flew in 3 times in 2 years. Each visit 48 hours. When you went into remission, you posted that you were grateful for family and Dr. Brennan. You tagged Allison and Dad. You didn't tag me. You didn't name me, not once, not publicly. And then on Mother's Day 2025, while I was 7 weeks pregnant with your second grandchild, a pregnancy I told you about 3 weeks earlier, you posted that Tyler was the most beautiful grandchild and your heart was so full. You didn't call me. You didn't text me. 2 weeks before I gave birth, you told a stranger on Facebook that Tyler was your only grandchild. When I went into labor on December 15th, I called you. You declined the call and texted, "Busy with Tyler. Call you later." I didn't call later. I called someone who actually showed up. Dr. Brennan, the oncologist whose life I helped save you through treatment. That photo that went viral, that wasn't about humiliating you. That was about honoring the person who saw me when you didn't. I'm not asking you to grovel. I'm asking you to tell the truth. The same people who saw you celebrate Tyler need to see you acknowledge what I did for you. And we need professional help to rebuild this. If you even want to rebuild it, here are my conditions. 1. A public acknowledgement on Facebook about the care I provided during your cancer treatment. Not a vague apology. A specific statement naming what I did. The 52 appointments. The $18,000. The 2 years the people who saw you celebrate Tyler deserve to see you recognize me. 2. Family therapy. Not 1 session. A commitment to 6 months of professional counseling. We need help that I can't provide and you can't fake. 3. No contact with Natalie until the first 2 conditions are met. You will not meet my daughter, hold my daughter, or be called grandma until you prove that you see me as your daughter. If you can't do this, I understand, but you will not have access to my daughter until you prove that you see me as your daughter. I don't regret the money. I don't regret the time. I do it all again because that's who I am. But I do regret waiting for love from someone who never learned how to give it. Natalie will never experience that. I'll make sure of it. I hope you choose to do the work, but if you don't, I'll be okay, because I've already built the family I need, Ellen. I hovered over the send button for 30 seconds. Nathan stood behind me. You ready? Yeah. I clicked send. I didn't check my email for 24 hours. When I finally looked, there were 3 replies. Mom's was 365 words long, defensive, deflecting. I never meant to hurt you. I was just so excited about Tyler. You know I love you both equally. I don't understand why you're making this so public. This is between family. I'm your mother. I deserve respect. She didn't mention the $18,000. She didn't mention the 52 appointments. She didn't mention any of the conditions I'd set. She just defended herself and asked for respect. Allison's was shorter. I didn't know it was this bad. I'm sorry you feel this way. Not sorry for what she did. Sorry I felt bad. Dad's was different. Can we talk in person? I want to make this right. I read all 3. I closed my laptop. I didn't reply. Nathan asked, "What now? We wait?" I said, "On January 25th, Mom posted a vague apology on Facebook. I've made mistakes as a mother. I'm sorry to anyone I've hurt. Family, is complicated. I'm learning and growing. Please respect our privacy. Comments were turned off. She didn't name me. She didn't mention cancer or caregiving or the $18,000. It was the kind of apology that says nothing. I sent her a reply. That's not the acknowledgement I asked for. I asked you to name what I did. The 52 drives. The $18,000. The 2 years. Saying I made mistakes is not the same as saying Ellen saved my life. I'm not trying to punish you. I'm trying to give you a chance to see me. But you have to actually do the work. She read it. She didn't reply for 3 days. On January 28th, she posted again. This time, it was real. I need to say something I should have said years ago. My daughter Ellen took care of me through breast cancer from 2020 to 2022. She drove me to 52 chemotherapy appointments. She paid $18,000 when I couldn't. She never left my side. I didn't thank her the way I should have. I didn't acknowledge her sacrifice publicly. I was wrong. I'm sorry, Ellen. And I'm working to be better. She tagged me. She left comments on. It was public. The post got 340 likes and 78 comments within an hour. Most of them said, "It's about time." Some said, "I hope Ellen forgives you." A few said, "This took courage." I read it 3 times. I cried. Nathan asked, "Is that enough?" "It's a start," I said. The next day, January 29th, Mom sent me an email with links to 3 family therapists in Columbus. I found these. "Will you come with me?" I replied, "Yes, but I need you to commit to 6 months like I said." She replied within an hour. "I will. I promise." We booked the first session for February 10th, 2026 at 2 p.m. Dr. Helena Foster at Columbus Family Therapy Center. Allison sent 5 more emails over the next week. All of them said some version of, "I didn't know." None of them said, "I should have shown up." On January 30th, I sent her one final message. "You knew I existed. You chose not to ask. That's enough for me to know. Goodbye, Allison." I blocked her number. I unfriended her on Facebook. I was done. Nathan asked, "You okay with cutting her off?" "She cut me off first," I said. "I'm just making it official. Dad was different." He sent a private message. "I should have protected you from your mother's favoritism. I didn't. I'm a coward. I'm sorry. I don't expect forgiveness, but I want to do better." I wrote back, "I appreciate that, but you have to show it, not just say it. Can I meet Natalie?" He asked. After the first family therapy session, I said, "If you show up and participate." He showed up on February 10th. He was early. He brought flowers. In early February, something unexpected happened. I started getting messages from strangers, over 200 of them. Caregivers who'd seen Dr. Brennan's post. People who'd taken care of sick parents, sick spouses, sick children. People who'd never been thanked. I took care of my dad for 5 years, and no one ever acknowledged it. Thank you for speaking up. I'm a nurse, and I see this every day. The invisible caregivers, you gave them a voice. I cried when I saw your story. I felt seen for the first time. I forwarded 20 of those messages to Dr. Brennan. She told me her foundation had received over $15,000 in donations in 2 weeks because of the post. "You started something important, Ellen," she said. "I just told the truth," I said. Dr. Brennan came to visit us every week in February. She'd bring coffee, sit with me and Natalie, give me parenting tips, hold the baby while I showered or napped. One afternoon, she was holding Natalie in the rocking chair. "She looks like you," she said. "Everyone says she has Nathan's nose. But she has your strength," Dr. Brennan said. "I can tell already." I asked her something I'd been thinking about for weeks. "Can Natalie call you Grandma Rachel?" Dr. Brennan looked up at me. Her eyes were wet. "I'd be honored." On February 8th, Nathan's fire crew threw us a late baby shower. 15 firefighters and their wives showed up at our house. They brought gifts worth probably $800. Diapers, clothes, a cribmobile, a meal train for 2 weeks. The fire captain, a guy named Mike, handed me an envelope. "Nate's family. So you and Natalie are family too." One of the firefighters' wives pulled me aside. She was a teacher too. "We look out for our own," she said. "You're not alone." I cried again. I'd been crying a lot, but these were different tears. In mid-February, I went back to teaching. My third graders had made 23 handmade cards. "Welcome back, Miss Robbins." They'd drawn pictures of babies, hearts, flowers. One of my students, a little girl named Emma, handed me a card that said, "You're the best mom and the best teacher." I hung all 23 cards on my classroom wall. One evening in late February, I sat alone with Natalie. Nathan was at the fire station on a 24-hour shift. Snow was falling outside our window in Columbus. Light, soft flakes. Natalie was 7 weeks old, the same age I'd been pregnant on Mother's Day. I held her in the rocking chair, the same blue chair Dr. Brennan had sat in when she held Natalie for the first time. "Grandma Carol is trying," I whispered to her. "I don't know if we'll ever be close, but I want you to know something. I'll never make you earn my love. You already have it, all of it, just because you exist." I looked at the snow. I thought about the last year, the Mother's Day post, the 52 drives to chemo, the $18,000, the deleted FaceTime call, the viral photo, the 20,000 likes, the email, the boundaries. I got up and walked to my desk. I opened the drawer where I'd kept the hospital bill, the one from December 12, 2022, $18,000. I looked at it one last time, then I put it back in the out loud. I walked back to the rocking chair. Natalie was asleep in my arms. I thought about my family, the real one. Nathan, who'd been there through 2 miscarriages, and never left. Dr. Brennan, who showed up when my own mother didn't. The fire crew, who brought meals and gifts and called us family. My students, who made cards with their small hands. My friends, who asked the right questions and didn't look away. Nathan had asked me once if I was going to let Mom back in. I told him maybe, but she doesn't get to be Grandma until she earns it. Dr. Brennan is Grandma Rachel. Mom is Carol. For now, I made a list in my head. Natalie's family, Nathan, Daddy, Grandma Rachel, Uncle Fire Crew, Miss Ellen's students, Carol, conditional. That was our family. I said it out loud. This is our family. The next morning I wrote in my journal, February 14th, 2026, Valentine's Day, a day about love. I wrote, "Sacrifice isn't an invisible obligation. I don't need a viral post to know my worth, but sometimes the world needs to see the truth so that people like me, the caregivers, the givers, the forgotten ones, can be seen. I don't know if my mom will ever fully understand what she did, but I know I'll never do it to Natalie. I want to say something to you directly. If you're taking care of someone who doesn't acknowledge you, you have permission to stop. You have permission to set boundaries. You have permission to choose your own family. Blood doesn't give anyone permission to make you invisible. And if they don't see you, find the people who will. They're out there, I promise." Dr. Brennan told me something that changed everything. Family isn't who raised you. It's who shows up. And now I choose the people who show up. I used to think family love was something you paid for with money, with time, with blood. But here in Columbus, Ohio, in 2026, I learned that real family is the people who show up when you need them most, even if they don't share your blood. Natalie will grow up knowing she doesn't have to earn love. Love was there from the very first second. And if you're reading these words right now, you deserve to be loved like that too. If this story meant something to you, share it with someone who's taking care of family without a thank you. Like it if you believe in chosen family. And comment, "I see you if you're a caregiver. Because I see you, we see each other." Thank you for listening. And remember, you deserve to be loved without conditions. Don't accept anything less. On a quiet February afternoon, Dr. Brennan knocked on my door with 2 coffees. She came in. Nathan was home. We sat in the living room. Natalie was sleeping in her bassinet. Dr. Brennan looked at me. "Room for one more." "Always," I said. Nathan put his arm around me. Dr. Brennan held her coffee. The snow fell softly outside. Natalie made a small sound in her sleep. I looked around the room. This was it. This was family. Not the one I was born into, the one I chose, the one that chose me back. This is what real love looks like.